All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about a feeling that's, well, it's really specific, but also super universal. It's that ache you get from a hope that feels like it's completely in the past. We're going to look at what that feeling really is and explore an amazing story that might just show us a way through it. So let's get started. I mean, really think about it for a second. That big project you poured everything into, that relationship you were so sure was going to last forever, the future you had all planned out. When you talk about it now, do you say, I hope? Or do you catch yourself saying, I had hoped? You know, that tiny little change from present to past tense, it holds a whole world of disappointment, doesn't it?
There's actually a name for this, past tense hope syndrome. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's that heavy, sinking feeling when a door you were praying would open just seems to have slammed shut for good. It's when your brightest, most exciting dreams have turned into something you can only talk about in the past.
To really get our heads around this, we're going to look at a pretty powerful case study. It's a really old story, but trust me, the emotions in it feel like they could have happened yesterday. We are headed to the road to Emmaus.
So picture the scene. It's just a few days after the crucifixion, and everything is a mess. Two of Jesus' followers are walking away from Jerusalem. Away from the very city that was the center of all their hopes. They're not just sad, they're completely lost, just totally confused. Everything they believed in seems like it's been shattered, and they're just trying to figure out what it all meant. And then, right in the middle of their conversation, they say this one line that just captures everything. But we had hoped. Wow. That is the perfect textbook definition of past tense hope syndrome. Their hope wasn't just on hold. For them, it was over. It was a thing of the past. And if you really want to get the full impact of what they were feeling, it's kind of cool to look at the original language. In Greek, the word they use is elpizomen. Now, this isn't just saying something happened in the past. It's what's called the imperfect tense, which means it was an ongoing, continuous thing that is now stopped. So think about it this way. It's not that they hoped for a minute. They were living in a state of constant hope. And now that state was just over. The very grammar tells you how deep their despair was.
But of course, the story doesn't end there in all that despair. Actually, this is the exact moment where the cure begins. This is where everything is about to change.
So as they're walking along, totally consumed by their grief, this stranger comes up and joins them. He listens to them, and then he does something they totally don't expect. He doesn't give them a bunch of empty reassurances. Instead, he starts to reframe their whole story. He takes them back through their own scriptures and shows them a pattern they had never seen before, that maybe the suffering wasn't a sign of failure, but a necessary part of the whole plan. They feel this spark of something they can't quite put their finger on, so they invite him to stay for dinner. And then, in the most normal, everyday action, breaking bread, it all clicks. It's like the lights come on, their eyes are opened, and they realize the stranger is Jesus, resurrected. The very hope they thought was dead and buried is sitting right there at the table with them. And the change is just instantaneous and total. Look at this. They were physically walking away from everything. Now they are literally running back. Their sadness is gone, replaced by pure joy. And the big one, their past tense hope becomes this explosive present tense reality. The scriptures that used to confuse them now make perfect sense. It's a complete 180. Looking back on it, they realize that the change actually started way before that moment at the dinner table. They ask each other this incredible question. That burning heart, that's the feeling of hope being sparked back to life. It's that sensation of confusion turning into clarity, like a new idea is literally catching fire inside you. So this is why this story is so important for us right now. The journey to Emmaus isn't just some historical account. It's basically a roadmap for how hope can come back to life in our own lives. It gives us a way forward when we feel like we've hit a dead end. So what does this path actually look like for us? Well, first, it starts right where the disciples were. You have to articulate your disappointment. You have to be honest and actually say it out loud, that feeling of I had hoped. You can't just ignore it. Okay, then comes the second step, and this is the hard part. You have to stay open to a new way of seeing things, just like they did on the road. It means you keep walking, even when you're confused, you stay curious, and you're willing to listen to a perspective that might challenge everything you thought you knew. And finally, when that little spark of hope catches fire, you don't hoard it. You turn around, you go back, and you share the story. And that second step, that part about walking through the confusion, through the desert, really,
It is such a universal experience. It's so common that it's been explored in all sorts of ways, like in this classic book, Streams in the Desert. For almost 100 years, people have turned to this book to find strength when they feel like they're on their own personal road to Emmaus, wandering through a spiritual or emotional wilderness. And this search for hope when you feel lost is absolutely global. It's not just one culture or one place. In India, for example, scholars like Dr. K. Job Sudarshan are translating these very ideas for new audiences. And get this, that book, Streams in the Desert, is so popular that its name in Telugu, Yedirilo Sayerlu, is now the title of a popular podcast. It just goes to show you that the journey from that lonely road of despair back to a community of hope, it's something everyone understands. So you see, this whole idea of past tense hope isn't some small, isolated feeling. It's a huge intersection. It touches on grief, on our search for meaning, our spirituality, how we make sense of our sacred texts. It's this central human challenge where all these really big ideas about life and faith come crashing together. So let's end with this thought. The disciples' hope wasn't reignited by some flashy miracle. It came back to life during a simple walk and a shared meal. It was reborn in a conversation that completely changed their perspective. So the question for all of us is, where on our own road, maybe at the very moment we feel the most lost, might a new conversation be waiting to set our hearts on fire?